Welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, if you're new, welcome. My name is Dion. I call this the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube, and this is chapstick. I picked it at random. This is Holiday Cocoa. I call this the Crazy Troll Nation. The crazy, just enjoying your channel, enjoying the channels that you watch. The troll part is not caring too much about what the beauty community standards are. You set the standard for yourself. When you're watching makeup related videos, try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand or a certain tool or a certain technique. Use whatever you want to use, however you want to use it, to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. Because here we are about self-acceptance and self-love. Loving yourself for who you are and for how you look, even without face paint on. Try not to ever feel like you're unacceptable or you're not put together or being overly concerned with what other people may think. Just do you, boo-boo, and love you for it. That is the basic concept of the Crazy Troll Nation. I do curse sometimes in my videos because sometimes I curse, period. So that is me, and here we are. Fenty Brow Pencil, Fenty Brow Pencil, McGrath Foundation. Sometimes I forget where I put stuff. Estee Lauder concealer under my eyes and this area here, and this mark, that mark, and that mark. What else? The Pat McGrath foundation, M18. I didn't powder down yet. We're going to do that later. I'm a little out of it. My hormones are just doing what they do. And so I had a budding migraine. I took a migraine med, and this was early this morning. Actually, this afternoon around like 1:30. I woke up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling pressure behind my eyes. So I took a migraine med and got back in bed. I am nocturnal, so it's not unusual for me to still be asleep at around 1 anyway. But I do wake up every 90 minutes or so, and usually I will just go right back to sleep. So I felt the migraine come in, and I took the med and went to sleep. And I woke up and I got up because I was hungry. I felt my sugar was low, and I'm not diabetic, but I can tell when my sugar's running low. So I got up, it was about 7 o'clock tonight. And so here we are now, and the migraine med makes me a little loopy. And I drank about 2 ounces of Mountain Dew before this video because I didn't want to just be lagging and just taking all day or being slow, because it makes me feel like the migraine med makes me feel like I'm in slow motion. So, but I wanted to do this video because I am enjoying this series, and we are going to skip ahead. I've been going systematically Motherships 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pairing them with the other Motherships. But looking at the calendar, I'm running out of days for this month to do all the looks I wanted to do, and so we're going to switch it up. The next video, excuse me, we're going to jump to Mothership 10 and pair that with something instead of going in the natural numerical order of things. And then we're going to see, because also I really want to get into the 2 quads, specifically the Astral Blitz quad, I think it's called, or Blitz Astral. Let me just look at it. Blitz Astral quad. I really do want to dig into that one. I haven't used it yet, so I'm curious about the formula and if it's the same as some of the Celestial shades in the Motherships. Because for me, her different palettes have different formulas. The Mega Motherships to me are completely different than the 10-pan Motherships, and some of her quads, the formula is different. The quints, between the different quints, the formula is different. So I'm just curious to see what that formula is going to be. So today we're using Mothership number 4, which is Decadence. Shout out to Denise. She did her Shop My Stash for this week, and she's like, I'm sorry, Dion, I can't smell it. I do have sensitive sinuses, and I have had this a little over a year, so I don't know if the time has something to do with it, or I do really think it's just I have sensitive sinuses, because even just holding it right here, I'm catching whiffs of vanilla. So whether I actually touch the shadows or not, I can still smell the vanilla in the shadows. But again, I do have sensitive sinuses, and we're going to pair this today with Mothership number 6, which is Midnight Sun. So these are the 2 that we're using today. And when I've been doing these looks and writing out what shadows are going to go where, I have been trying to make it a point to not pair the same shadows, because I realized a lot with Midnight Sun. I love this shade, and I've been using this in almost everything, and actually, yeah, we're not using it to, this is the one? we are not using this today. And this one is Wicked Envy, because I love this paired with this and with that. And so I'm trying to make sure I'm using different shadows, because if you keep placing, well, for me, if I keep placing the same shades next to the same shades, it's going to look the same whether the outer corner is different or not, you know what I mean? And so this is helping me to really use the Motherships, use them in a way that I'm not used to using them. I'm not used to pairing palettes, period, but pairing them and also trying to pair them in a way of not using the same shades, even though I'm pairing it with something else. And for this look, we're going to be using 3 shades from Decadence on the eyelid, and 3 shades from Midnight Sun on the lid. And from Midnight Sun, we're going to use Skin Show Moon Glow again as a cheek highlight. And so instead of 4 shades on the lid from each palette, we're only going to be using 3. And it's just how it worked out when I was looking at it. And you don't have to do 3 shades on the lid, 4 shades, 5 shades on the lid like I do. I just like to do stuff, and that's just me, but you don't have to do that. And some people do love one and done. Let's get into the look. The first thing we're going to take is Extreme Dusk from Midnight Sun, and that's going to go on the outer portion of the lid. And yes, I do realize I have really gotten back to putting a darker shade on the outer corner, and I initially was trying not to use the darkest shade. The first 3 Motherships have Extreme Black, and I don't think for those looks I avoided using Extreme Black, because I didn't want the looks to be dark. I was trying to do ethereal looks. But as I went along in this series, like, my aesthetic is coming through, and I gotta have some depth, some darkness, some deepness. And so that's taught me something too, that as much as I want to do a certain thing, I still prefer what I prefer, you know what I mean? But I am really glad for this experience, and I appreciate y'all for being here. Something interesting that I noticed, I don't know, I think it has to do with the holiday. The first video in the series, when I did just Sublime, that video had like over 200 views. I usually get a little over 100, like, seriously. My shorts get a lot, but I don't pay much attention to those because it doesn't always convert into subscribers or to people who are going to watch my long form content. And I do prefer long form content. I don't prefer to just do shorts. And so I don't pay too much attention to the views I get from shorts, because they may not, it doesn't always convert over for me. But Subliminal, that first look that I did, yeah, it had over 200 views, and I was surprised because I don't get 200 views. And for some channels, that's nothing. Some channels, larger channels, within an hour, they might have like 5,000 views. But for where I am, for where my channel is, it's just over 1,000 subscribers. When I look at people's numbers, it does seem like 10–15% of the subscriber count actually views the videos. And for me to have just over 1,000 and getting a little over 1,000 subscribers and getting 100 views, like, that's the 10%. And that seems to be typical across the board, unless the channel is just like really huge, meaning like 50,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. So I don't feel that I don't feel like my views are low for where I am when I look at the bigger picture compared to other channels. And I'm not saying this at all to say or to complain about views. I'm not, because you're here and you're watching me. So why would I complain to you that my views are different? You know what I mean? Because to me, that's insulting. If I were to come on here and complain about my views are low and you're watching me, like you're viewing me. I hope that made sense. But I have noticed my views have been lower, like 50 views, 60 views. And it started around the holiday or right before the holiday. So I thought, okay, maybe people are just away. And some of you do just binge. And so I don't really pay attention to numbers until like 2 weeks after the video airs, because some of you do binge me like once a week. And so I don't look at, oh my gosh, I put up this video 5 hours ago and I only have 15 views. Like, that means, like, I'm indifferent to that, because my views do go up over time. This is not a straight line. And so I was trying to round this one out to match this one, but I think by the time we put liner over here, this little peak won't be here. And is that a mole? I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if that's my skin or the shadow. And so that is something I noticed. I do think it's related to the holidays. And I will say this though, and I thank you for this. The majority of my views are returning subscribers. And so like you guys that are here right now watching this, the majority of you, like 90% of you, are subscribed. And it seems from looking at the analytics, my other most highest view count comes from people who are searching for a certain thing. Like if they're searching for Natasha Denona's Circle Local palette, or they're searching for House Labs blush, something like that. And so, and I can relate to that, because if I'm wanting a review or first impressions or something, I will search it in and then look at who the video was by and determine, like, do I want to watch that video? And so that it really resonates with me. And then there are some people who I just watch whatever they do. Now we're going to take Blue Blood from Decadence, this shade here. And so I'm just saying all that to say, if you do videos, there may be different reasons why your viewer count may be different. It may be holidays, it may be, and it may sometimes just be content. Like some people just might not want to see it. And I will say this for me. Me being a straightforward person, I don't like a lot of fluff. And I know there's this thing about, you know, thumbnails be exciting and draw people in. I'm not drawn in by thumbnails. I'm drawn in by the title, because then I'm reading it like, is this something I want to see? And I feel like, for me, let me know your opinion on this. I feel like, for me, if it's a title and it's something I want to see, I'm going to watch it. It doesn't matter if the thumbnail was like, you know, I got this new thing, or, you know, like that. And there's times when I do make faces in my thumbnails, but that's because I'm just really making that face. I'm not making it to try to entice people to watch. And I don't know if that has something to do with, you know, whatever, as far as view count or subscribers or not, but I feel it's important for me to just stay true to me, and I'm not going to be dramatic when I'm not a dramatic person. There are some people though that do need to be enticed and that do need to be drawn in, and they're just scrolling and a thumbnail will catch their eye and they're like, oh, I'm going to watch that. But for me, I'm not that way, because a thumbnail is not going to draw me in, and sometimes it turns me off because I can tell that they're being dramatic, and I'm like, I'm not a dramatic person. Like, just tell me what it is and what it ain't. But again, it's because I'm straightforward and I don't do fluff very well. I'm just, you'll tell me what it is, tell me what it's not. That old movie from back in the day, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. Like, just tell me what it is, tell me what it's not, and don't clickbait me. And when I used to see, I was reading a text. And so when I see certain things, I'm just like, like, I'm not going to front and be something that I'm not. We're going to take Bronze Eclipse from Midnight Sun, this shade. My fingers are being weird. This shade right here. So let me know your thoughts on this. Like, do thumbnails really make that much of a difference for you? Like, do thumbnails entice you to want to see a video, or are you more about being basic? Like, for me, I'm like, okay, I show you the palette and here's the title. And that's kind of it, you know what I mean? Like, is that good for you? Or are you just used to that from me? Or do you prefer, or are your eyes caught by the dramatic thumbnails? Look at that blend, oh my gosh. Or do you find that when you're scrolling and you see certain thumbnails and you're like, oh, I need to watch that because it really like kind of sucks you in? Or you may be a combination of both. Like, there's some people you just watch for whatever reason. You like their personality, you like their content. And other people you may watch because you're scrolling and something just catches your eye in your feed. So let me know, you know, where you are with that. Like, what's your take on that? And there is no right or wrong answer. Like, however you are is however you are. Whatever catches your eye and your intellect is what catches your eye and your intellect. So this is not a right or wrong type thing. These colors, Y'all, I am learning so much working with these motherships, because I wouldn't have put these colors together. I wouldn't have put these palettes together. This had blue blood on it, and I'm just tapping right here because this side looks like bronze eclipse is right here, with this side it seems I brought it further out. But because of the blend, like, does it even matter? Like, does it make that much of a difference? Look at hiccup, excuse me, look at oh my gosh. So those are just some things I was like, okay, what am I going to chit chat today about while I'm doing this video? Now we're going to take Sinful from Decadence, this shade here. This is a lot of fun, y'all. So I do appreciate all of you being here, because you can be anywhere watching anybody's video and you're here, and I appreciate that. And it's not anything else I can ask for. You know what I mean? That's nice. That is nice. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. This, and I am tapping off, and it is falling out from off the brush. And so both of these are looking powdery. Bronze Eclipse is looking powdery around this shade. Like, you see this around here, which is an easy fix. Just take my finger and wipe it off, or use a cloth. And so that'll just clean that up really quickly. And also this shade Sinful that we just used, that created some kick up when I tapped off the brush. But I'd rather tap off and have kick up in the pan. Easy fix, because just, you know, just wipe along the lacquer and it just comes off. I'd rather have that than it falling on my face. This is the brush with Bronze Eclipse. We're not adding shadow. We're just tapping right here where the two meet. If you like light ethereal looks with a little bit of depth on the outer corner, this look is for you. This is definitely for you. And that is it for the top. I thought to take Taboo from Midnight Sun as a transition. And I kind of think I want to, because that line is looking a little harsh. But we used Taboo in the last look. And so I kind of don't want to do that again. So we're just going to take a brush with no shadow on it, and we're just going to feather outward and back and forth, just to blend that a little more. Because as I was saying earlier, I don't want to keep using the same shades for the same placement, even if it really fits. Because Taboo, I think, would look nice up here. And now we're going to go in small circular motions just to bring those colors up toward my brow bone a little bit. And I was looking to see what I could use for a brow arch highlight, and I thought to use Skin Show Moon Glow, but we're going to use that for a cheek highlight again for the second time. I do like that better. So if you see a difference, you see how this is kind of just straight over and this is blended upward. So that it's a slight difference, but you can tell, because you can see the top line right here, where over here you can't see the top line. So for me, because of my eye shape and how I do my makeup, I don't always do a brow arch highlight. And if I do, it's similar to my skin tone, because I don't necessarily want to highlight this area up here. Like the Skin Show shadows are just too bright for my liking for this area, unless it's just like a thin line, but then it's still just like pow. And so that's what finally gave me the thought to try them as cheek highlighters. And so you see how this is nice. I'm going to just, excuse me if you heard that gurgle in my throat, I'm going to go very lightly and do little circular motions and feather back and forth just here, just to soften this line right here. And we're going to do the same here, because this to me right here is looking a little harsh. And so we're just going to go small circular motions. I don't want to blow it out too much, but I do just want it to not look so harsh. And I think this is going to help that little piece, which is still there, like right there, that's kind of poking out. So we're just very lightly pulling that shade over in small circular motions to just blend. And I think that worked. And again, once I put liner there, feathering inward, it'll help with that. Do I have fallout? which doesn't matter because if we do, we're going to fix it. I don't see any, but that doesn't mean anything because sometimes I won't see it and all of a sudden I'm like, what's this dark patch? Like after the fact. And so that is that. So we're going to put that brush down. I did sharpen the pencil liner today, and it doesn't get back to the point that it initially had. Like once I started using it, which is however many videos ago, it wears down quick, and when I sharpen it, it doesn't come to a fine point. So we're going to do this. I'm wondering if I want to go ahead and line and fill in my lips now. But I think we're going to do that later because that's jagged, but it'll be fixed once we put shadow under there. But I think I'm going to do the same thing and just do that later because it took me a while, which to me was like 2 minutes, which in makeup time can seem like a long time, to line and fill in my lips with this. It lines them fine, but trying to fill them in, and because of how fast this wore down, it was taking longer than I'm used to. And it might just be because I'm used to the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liners and also other lip liners. And even though this is an eyeliner crayon, it's not meant for lips, even though you can use it for that. So the texture is different, excuse me, from typical lip liners. Midnight Sun, wait a minute, Vermilion, Venom. No, let's go into Decadence. We're going to take Enigma, this shade here, on the first half of the lower lash line, and we're going to put that there. Again, me just trying to use different colors, different shades. That's going to go here, and I seem to feel like I've did this before. Put Enigma under here, and yes, I have noticed I've been putting light shadows on my lower lash line because there was a time when I was doing like a matte, a dark matte, and then topping it. No, what was I doing? I was doing a thick line with a shimmer and then a thin line with a darker shade. And so like the shimmer was blown down, and I was really liking that look. But dealing with the Motherships, using them for what they are and trying to do different looks and different combinations, and that's why things are, oh, I got shadow on my eye, damn it. Now we're going to take Vermilion Venom, this shade here, for the second half of our lower lash line. And so this has really been helping me. And so I'm going to have to just make a conscious effort to, ooh, I like how this red is mixing with that black. Well, not black, it's extreme dusk, actually. I like how that looks. I love Midnight Sun. Some people couldn't stand it. And I'm just like, what? But it's about preference and what your aesthetic is. And my aesthetic is murky, darky, smoky, part grunge, part goth, part punk rock, part swamp water. I really like this. I like this shade, and I like it in combination with the black eyeliner as well as extreme dusk, this outer corner shade. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do our upper lash line right now. Or do I want to edit that out? I'm going to do upper lash line. If you're interested in anything that I am using, there are links below in the description box. They are affiliate links at no extra cost to you. If my Nomad link is down below, that is not affiliated. And I say if, because listing all the Pat stuff takes up a lot of space in the description box. And so there's been some information that I've opted to remove in order to list and have the links for what's on my face. And so if you're interested in anything that I'm using, it's down below. I also am going to start listing my Instagram below. YouTube is my first love. And because of that glitch thing that they had a little while ago, and I was banned and then blocked and all of that, and I was hacked like 2 years ago, like I don't really trust Instagram. And I know for a lot of people, that's where they live. Whereas me, I live here on YouTube. And so that's partly why I don't say a lot about my Instagram, except for you know, if you win a giveaway, contact me, DM me on Instagram. But that is below if you are on Instagram. And the content is repetitive, because when I do a reel, like if you see my YouTube shorts, the short that's the same content I use for my IG reels. And so you're not really going to see anything different. And that's the other reason why I don't really talk much about the Instagram, because if you're watching me here, you're seeing everything I'm going to do there, except for if you just want to see pictures and see a flat lay of everything that I've used. So that might be something a little different. And I need to start posting these Mothership looks, because I have done the shorts and the reels, but I need to start posting the flat lays, which is the look and also a picture of everything I use for the look, and I list in the description box everything I've used for that look. And so that may be new if you just want to see everything all in one place. I'm going to go back to the brush that have Vermilion Venom on it, and I'm just going to just pull this right here because it looks like there's a gap, and you guys are probably like, oh, we don't see it. You know what it is? I think it's because I don't have anything on my lower waterline. And so I am seeing like a gap right here, but that's the corner of my lower waterline, like right here. So that's why that looks that way. And my eye is tearing a little bit. It was horrible the last video. Oh, it's tearing upward already. There's like a piece. Oh, what brush was that? Let me see. I think it was this brush. That's the shadow. So we're just going to just press. When my eyes tear upward, it does make that shadow in that one spot more intense, which tends to make it look patchy because the rest of the shadow doesn't look that intense. So I was going to throw that brush away. I saw that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to powder down the face. Bronzer. And then the other bronzer. Blush. We're going to use Paradise Venus again today. And then we're going to come back. Oh, before we come back, we're going to do the mascara primer and the mascara. And when we come back, we're going to do the highlight. And we're going to do the lip. And we have 4 choices. I set aside Astral Flash Dance that we used in yesterday's look because we have 4 more pat glosses to use, and we're going to try them all in different videos over the look. So the same way I'm systematically working through, or rotating, I should say, my chapsticks, we're going to rotate the other pat glosses to see how they all look over, excuse me, black lips. So we will be back after all of that's done. Come back and do the highlight and do the lip. All of that is done. We're going to take Skin Show Moon Glow. Yeah, that's what it's called. And we're going to tap into that. This is a shimmery shade. I do have fallout right here. When I get close, you can see it. And that's from when I tapped Sinful here, from the tearing I had and trying to clean it up. But by the time I saw it, I'm like, you know what? There's not much I can do with it unless I want to go back in with concealer or foundation. And I had already powdered down and everything. So I said, you know what? We're just going to leave it. In person is noticeable, but I don't think it looks horrible. I mean, when I'm in your face, yeah, you can see, and from this angle, you can see this. Yeah, you can see it. But I could just take this highlighter all the way in and just pretend it's all highlighter, but we're not going to pretend. I'm just going to own it and be like, I didn't see it at first, and now I did, and I'm at a point in this makeup look where I'm not going to fix it. This right here, on the top edge of Paradise Venus, I am loving it. I don't know if this is a dual chrome or not, but it's looking like it is over Paradise Venus. Unless I'm seeing things. And it is messy in the pan. So you see all of this that I could just use a cloth for, which I'm wiping my fingers on the cloth after I wipe it off. But I could just use a cloth or a Q-tip to just clean that up. And I do this after I use palettes just so when I open them they don't look messy. But it's a quick fix, just wiping it with your finger. But I am loving this as a highlighter. I want to swatch it, but then I don't think it would show up much unless I put it over a base or a primer or something. And so we're not going to do that. We're going to wipe off some chapstick because we're going to put on this liner. Another thing I wanted to say is, I thought about it when I was powdering down and doing bronzers and everything. I did my first members only access video because it didn't fit in with my Pat McGrath series. And it's a learning process because I set it for member only early access. And I also scheduled it. It doesn't allow you to do both. And I saw I had a couple comments on that video. And I'm like, how are they seeing this? And so I went back in and they had just published it at the scheduled time. And so I've learned that before the scheduled time, I have to go back and reset it for member only. So it seems it doesn't allow me to do both. So I would have to just schedule it and let it publish as members only. That didn't make sense because if you're publishing it, it's not scheduled. It just goes live whenever it processes, when it finishes processing. So I can schedule it, and before the scheduled airtime, go back and click it again for member only. And so I'll be doing early access member only for videos that don't fit in whatever series I'm doing, and then a few weeks later, or whenever it makes sense to put it in, then I'll change it to public. So that may be a perk for you if you just want to just see stuff early. And also there was a request for a live at least once a month. That was a member request. And so I will be doing at least one live once a month. For now, lives will be for everybody. When there's more members, and if the consensus is we want our own live, then we will do also members only live videos. But for right now, there's a handful of you. And so for now, we'll keep it early access. I will definitely do a live once a month. That was a lot of fun. There's a net that just flew by. And as we grow, we'll do members only if that's what you want. And I think I would still do just a live for everybody and just add in like an additional one for members only. And I did reduce the levels to where it's only just one level now, where I had a separate level for members only lives. But then I'm like, if you're already here and watching, I don't want to, ask you to pay more just for a separate members only live. You know what I mean? I just keep everything simple and on one level. And it is $2.99 a month. That link is below. If you want to, and if you click on it, it'll just show you what the perks are. You have to click again if you actually want to join. So if you just want to see what the perks are, this line is really jagged, and this is down to a nub again. This wears down quick, but it is an eyeliner. It's not a lip liner. I'm just trying to get it even so when I put the gloss on, it won't look patchy. But the way my lips are, how you see spots, well, gaps, like right here. And I don't know if that's down here or at the top. So if you want to read what the perks are, just click it, it'll tell you what they are. And this line down here is janky, but I'm not going to be able to get it straight because this is so nubby. Okay. It's not a lip liner, so I'm not complaining about it. These are the 4 glosses. This is one, again, I wish I could hear you, like which one to use. I'm thinking to just use this one because it is a dual chrome, but I'm thinking it'll play off of Vermilion Venom. Even though the other ones would be fun too. All of them I think will be fun. I'm also torn between this one, but I do tend to use that one more. This one is not my preference. I like how it looks when I apply it because you see the dual chrome aspect of it, but once you get it on, it looks like a regular gloss. And so in that sense, I'm indifferent about it. I realized from doing this yesterday that does not look like this on a bare lip. I need to put on less gloss because I know I was saying how even though the lip liner is creamy, on my lips it felt super dry, and so I put on a lot of gloss and it made the lip liner turn extremely emollient and the gloss ended up being goopy. and it was smearing like on my teeth and everywhere. It was horrible. And so that taught me still just put on a little bit of gloss and just really just swipe it. But doing this is getting more of it on here. The one I used yesterday, there was hardly any on any of the black lip liner, eyeliner, excuse me, on the wand. But that's also an easy fix, just wipe on a cloth. So, and you see I didn't dip in again. So we're just blending this. And it is pretty. But this is not what this looks like on bare skin at all. And so I'm kind of wondering if, what I may do, I'm not sure yet, because that'll be like something else to do, right? So what I am thinking, I'm trying to find something to clean this off without, where's my makeup remover wipes? They're over there. So let me just do that. So what I'm thinking about is doing a video. I do not like these Olay Cleanse wipes, but they come in handy. I have other wipes open. I did open these before, but these come in handy for cleanup swatches. But for my face did not like the Olay face cleansing wipes, and they're supposed to be for cleansing your face, but my face was like, girl, no. So I'm just putting it in and squeezing it and trying to wipe off as much as I can. And some of it is not coming off, which is fine, because if it's embedded in there, it's just going to stay there. It's not going to affect the color of the gloss. And so now even wiping it, you see the black on the tip, even wiping it, like it is not coming off anymore. So we're going to throw the wipe away. We are going to take a dry cloth and we're just going to squeeze it just to get if there's any excess of that cleanser from the wipe off of there before we put this back into the tube. So that's how you can clean that, or that's how I clean that. So so what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I'm thinking maybe to do swatches, and y'all know I love doing face swatches, of the gloss and then over a black base, whether it be this eyeliner or my NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in Alien. This is a black one. And I could probably also do over Club Hopper. And so it's sort of like a deep purplish, this one here, just to see what they would look like over different bases. And so I'm thinking that's what I might do, because for me, as I said, when I put on glosses, they all just kind of like look the same, even though they look different in the tube. Because this to me is kind of looking like the one from yesterday, and the colors are way different. This is what we use today. I don't know if I told you, this is Bronze Venus. This is the one from yesterday, Astral Flash Dance. So even though they look very different over the black, like, are they different? So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I think that might be fun just to see what they look like over the black and the brown. The challenge will be fitting it all on my face, because I have 5 pat glosses, and so that would be the 5 glosses, and then 5 more over the black, and then 5 more over the brown. Well, actually it's purple, like a purple brown, something. I don't know, I'm hard at describing colors. It's brown, but to me, like right here, it looks kind of purplish, but here it looks brown. My color perception is different, I'll just say it that way. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. And I think that would be a fun video just to see. So we're going to go for now. This is the finished look. Let me know what you think. I am digging it, of course. I'm just loving how the lid shades, they just all blend in together. And you saw I didn't do the back and forth and all of that, just tapping over it. And that was all it took. Like these Motherships, the formulas for me are very easy to use. And I am on board with the hype. I want her to come out with like a swamp water, grungy, gothy, punk rock color story type palette, because I'm really here for it. And I am really liking the darker second half of the lid with the lighter shades on the inner corner, which I think most people do, but I think they take their lid shades, the lighter shades, further out, and half the lid isn't as dark as I do mine, I don't think. And so I hope this is something new for you to see, something new for you to explore, not only the technique, but also different color combinations, pairing different palettes, using similar colors. It doesn't have to be the Motherships, it doesn't. But anything You know, if you have, you know, 10 palettes, you can probably do these shades or get something similar. So if you're liking the looks, try to look at it as just individual colors and not the palette, you know what I mean? But if you are a Pat McGrath fan, hey, go for it. So that'll be it. Thank you for being here. Let me know your take on thumbnails and titles. Let me know your take on, what was the other thing I asked you about? I forgot. Oh, if you do videos, let me know what your thoughts are on when your numbers fluctuate. And they do fluctuate anyway, but noticing like almost like a 40% drop. And it did start like around maybe a few days before the 4th of July. So the beginning of July is when they started going down. And again, I'm not complaining. I appreciate all of you being here. I really do. Just thinking from a content creator point, just trying to figure out, okay, what's happening? Because y'all are here. Like, you guys are here. And I appreciate you for it. But just if you do, we all do. If you do videos, have you noticed your numbers changing? And what are your theories on why? So the thumbnail thing, do you need something to grab you? Or do you just look at the title and maybe the palette that's shown in the thumbnail or whatever the item is, and your take on why your numbers may be fluctuating, especially if there's somewhat of a significant difference. But other than that, right now we're going to go. Thank you for being here. Lots of information down below. Comments always welcome. Sharing my videos are always welcome. You can click the share button, copy the link, put it on your community tab, put whatever text you want to put. Yeah, and my Instagram will be below as well, which is _ Dion Loves Makeup. I'm a simple person. I try to keep stuff easy for my own sanity, which sometimes is kind of questionable. But thank you for being here. And as always, self-acceptance, self-love, that is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you so much for being here, and you will see me in the next video.